welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be making broccoli sausage pasta. Here's what I love about broccoli sausage pasta. It is the most toddler friendly food ever. I make this all of the time. My kid and my baby both eat it. When we have families over for dinner, I often will make this. It's really simple. It's only gonna take a couple of minutes to make here.
First, let's gather up our ingredients. We're gonna need some chicken sausage, preferably bulk sausage that you cook in a frying pan. You're gonna need some pasta of your choice, some shredded cheese of your choice, garlic, a little bit of oil, and broccoli. I've also made this with peas. I've made it with cauliflower to a little bit less satisfaction. Broccoli is where I suggest that you start, but that's it. So few ingredients.
So I've got some water on to boil. I've got just a regular old frying pan here. I'm just gonna pour a tiny bit of oil in it just to keep things from sticking. I'm not even gonna use as much as in the recipe, which this recipe is from Skinnytaste, which is like one of my go-tos. I'm gonna post the original recipe in the comments so you can get to it. But just a little bit of oil in that frying pan. First, we're gonna fry up our sausage. Okay, so I'm just gonna put some garlic in the frying pan. And we'll just get that started up. Okay, so I use chicken sausage. And this chicken sausage is from Publix. If you live in the South and you have Publix, this is one of my go-to products. I calculated this out once on the Blue Plan. This is 3 points a piece. So I'm just gonna go ahead and rip these out of their casings and fry it up as if it were bulk sausage. My Publix only sells it like this in links, but I usually use it as bulk sausage, so I'm just gonna cook it all up. But it's really easy, even if all you can get is the links. You just open it right up and stick it in the pan, and then just fry it up like you would ground beef or anything else kind of like that. All right, hopefully you've got your water going so that it will start boiling soon, because again, this meal is gonna come together really, really fast. Really, really fast. All right, so let's just put this sausage in here. All right. Really, there's 5 sausages in a package. 4 is really all that you need, but I usually just go ahead and cook it all up and then just keep a little bit of the bulk sausage on the side. And I'll use it for breakfasts or throw it in something else later in the week. So you're just trying to get this into basically like a crumble, a sausage crumble. Really easy. All right, so my water, let's see, so you can kind of see what that looks like. There's my beef that I'm just cooking up, and I'm also boiling some water. So my water is getting pretty close to boiling, and as soon as my water is boiling, I want to add my pasta. I am gonna use large seashells today. You can really use any pasta that you want. What I like about the large seashells, 1, they were on sale. 2, they're in my pantry. You know, I have a 1-year-old, and the seashells are small enough that my 1-year-old can eat them without me really having to cut them up and stuff right now. So that is why that is the pasta that I am choosing today. But I mean, I've done this with macaroni. I usually do it with penne. You can do it with pretty much any kind of pasta. Okay, so my water is boiling. This package has 16 ounces of pasta. I want 12 ounces of pasta. 12 ounces of pasta. So I'm going to use 3/4 of the box. You can, there we go, 3/4 of the box. You can absolutely use a food scale to measure out exactly how much 12 ounces is if you need. All right, so my pasta is gonna boil a little bit, and I'm gonna follow the al dente directions. So I'm gonna let that cook for, 7 or 8 minutes over there. But keep in mind that you're gonna add some broccoli to it, because we need some broccoli pasta. So all you do is you grab one of these bags of broccoli. You can buy your own broccoli. I've even done this with frozen broccoli, and it turned out fine. Not quite as good as fresh broccoli, but it was fine. And once your kind of pasta has cooked for a couple of minutes, when there's about 3 or 4 minutes left, you're going to dump this in with the water and let it cook down real good. So my chicken sausage is almost all cooked up. It looks pretty good. Once this is done cooking, we're just going to set it off to the side. You want to make sure it's all cooked through and that there's no more pink parts, because it is, after all, chicken. Let's go ahead and cook that all the way up. Nobody wants rare chicken around here, especially if you're going to feed it to toddlers. Okay, my sausage is done. I'm going to add my broccoli florets. All right, so you're really just gonna take your broccoli and add it right in there with the pasta. Just right on top. All in there. So good looking. Okay, and then what I actually do is I put the top on it. Oop, now I'm gonna put the top on it and I'm gonna let it cook for like 3 or 4 more minutes. Top. Okay, so the idea is that we're boiling that broccoli down, and so by boiling that broccoli down with the pasta, it's going to make it so that broccoli falls apart, and when we stir it all up, it's going to kind of make like a broccoli pesto. So while the pasta and the broccoli are finishing up cooking, get out your colander and get it prepped to go in your sink. So before you drain your pasta and your broccoli, you want to make sure that you reserve a little bit of that pasta sauce. It's going to come in handy. So like I said, we're just going to reserve a little bit of that pasta cooking liquid. You don't need much. Half a cup is plenty. It's fine. All right, let's check to make sure our pasta is all cooked up. It looks pretty good, you guys. All right, there's my piece of pasta. It's cooked perfect. I'm gonna go drain it. Okay, so my pot is drained. All you're gonna do is bring the pot back with you. Put it right here, put it on your stovetop. Take it off the heat. Take your drained broccoli and pasta. Doesn't look really good, you guys? Oh, it's so good. Just dump it right back in that pot. Whoops. Don't put that in anything hot either. All right, now you take that chicken sausage that you had and add as much of it as you want to your pasta. Like I said, I don't actually put all of it in there, and I kind of try to avoid and drain the sausage fat as I go. Okay, that's probably enough for my family. So I put about half of the chicken sausage in there. Okay, this is where the fun comes in. Oh, you know what? I forgot a measuring spoon. Okay, so you take your cheese. This is the cheese that I use, 6 grain. I suggest using full fat cheese so it melts really good, because you're not going to use that much. 1/4 of a cup. That's it. I will put more on the side to give to my kids since they like cheese. So 1/4 of a cup of this nice cheese. And you know what? I just pour that in here. Add in a fair amount of salt and pepper. I don't measure that, sorry. I have no idea how much I put in there. And then that is when you add back in, you're just gonna add in a little bit of this at a time as you stir it, okay? So I'm gonna already add in just a little bit. And then we're just gonna stir this all together. And as you stir it, that broccoli is gonna break apart. So as you stir it, that broccoli breaks apart. The cheese kind of melts on in there, and you get this awesome kind of like broccoli pesto pasta. You can break up that broccoli as much as you want. And honestly, it kind of depends on how picky your kid is. So my kids really like broccoli. They, you know, hey, we're eating trees. So I don't really have to break up my broccoli that much for them to eat it. I'm gonna add a little more water so it breaks up a little bit better. But you can really try to break that broccoli down if you really just need it to be more like a broken up sauce on there. So on the Weight Watchers Blue Plan, a cup of this is only 8 points, and that is plenty of food for me, and that is usually what I eat. And honestly, it might even be a little bit more than a cup. It might be more like, a generous cup. It's a really filling meal. You'll definitely have leftovers. This makes a huge pot of pasta. You can always add a little bit more cheese. I cut out a lot of the olive oil when I made it. As you saw, it called for a lot more olive oil in the actual recipe. So feel free to add a little bit more oil if you think that it needs it. So you guys, that's it. We're done. We've made this totally decadent pasta. Here is one big old cup of it. It looks so good. It's really delicious. It's ready to go. Totally family friendly. Your kids can eat this and you can feel great about giving it to them. And that's it. So again, this recipe is from Skinnytaste. I'm gonna put it below in the comments. I hope this was helpful. Definitely one of the foods that my kids eat all of the time. All right, see you next time.